games with great art, and Honey Buzz, for whatever reason, I was like, this might be the prettiest game ever. I don't know. Really it's gorgeous. So colorful and wonderful. And then I and Nick love the anthropomorphized animals, and it's just like, we're bees doing business stuff, you know. And I'm like, that's great. It's just so fun. So yeah, we're just gonna get down with some Honey Buzz. It's just a fantastic production. Elf Creek, of course, like crushes their productions. They just like,
to say the least,
make amazing games.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing, and so that's what we're getting after. Just having a nice time.
This game is like seriously top of my must playlist because I've heard nothing but great things about it, and just seeing
it's really good.
It's, you know, and it's not just looks. Yeah, it's not just looks.
No,
it's
a really not.
Game with some good spatial puzzliness to it, and the way that you trigger and time your kind of actions and stuff is nice, and it's in a nice game that like doesn't take too long and stuff. It's again through and through, just like this is a solid whole thing. It's great.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, I want to welcome everybody back. Apparently, we had some technical issues. It said we were down for a minute, but we are back on, apparently. So, again, thanks for hanging out while we...
Sorry if it made you... People had to run an ad again. See? They just be using that times like, oh, this is
Twitch is like, well, mine as well.
You know, it's not down. Right? The McDonald's Big Mac. It's bigger and better than that. It's like, what? Just show me the show. I want to watch this crap. Sorry about that.
So true.
So we're back on live. Thank you, friends, for hanging out with us. After you two guys get done, you raid into
Board Game Blitz. And they're playing Gartic Phone, not Garlic Phone, despite the fact the concept looks like Gartic.
We had a lot of talk on our Discord about it.
Yes,
this is like a digital, kind of like a digital version of Telestrations. Right? Ultimately, is kind of what it ends up being. So Board Game Blitz, Crystal and Abby are going to be playing with a bunch of different people from TLN. So that's going to be a really, really fun show. Definitely don't miss out on that one because it's going to be an absolute banger.
Telestrations, and I think we've talked about before, is
it's one of the best party games ever.
So ridiculously fun. It is just, I've never once counted score in that game because I could not care less about that, but it's just so fun. And I love, especially this last year, how many browser-based versions of games and stuff have come up through necessity where now you can play this across the world with people. I'm like, that's so great, you know. Computers are fantastic.
I agree 100%. The same thing. I've never kept score in that game. It's just all about the laughs, and
that's how you know it's a good party game. A good party game is one that you don't keep score in, which is a weird concept considering it's a game. Too much fun.
Yep.
So there's scoring and illustrations. Nope.
Yep.
I think so. Maybe there's not even. I don't know.
What is the scoring? Is it like, how do you score? I don't even know how.
I don't even know. I honestly couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe there isn't. I don't know.
There's got to be, right?
There's got to be some
scoring. I think so.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not what we want. It's just how to draw something and then sort of mislead people a little bit, or just take something very literal, or, you know, it's just so fantastic. Oh,
yes. So that's Gartic Phone. And I have no idea what we all thought it was Garlic Phone. And so I don't know what the Gartic is referring to.
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Maybe it's the idea of, would Gartic be like an anagram of something else? And the point is that the translation's been like, should it be saying something else, but we have Gartic because you misheard?
Interesting. You know what? One way we might be able to find out is tune in at.
That's how you get the Blitz. Answers at 8, folks. Answers at 8. Don't miss it.
All right.
After that, we got iHeart Board Games.
Yeah, they're playing they're playing some games with chat. Indeed. They're going at 10 p.m. They're playing Codium's Duet and then Just One with the chat. Both great chat games. So,
absolutely.
So, little iHeart Board Games.
Come on down for that. It's going to be great. You can help give clues and help them play along. After that, we have Book of Nerds going. We got John Morena playing some Tiny Towns. Fantastic. Also something you can
there's a
play
lot of
along
chat
from home as well. I know, it's great. And playing some cribbage like they do. I know they're on a mission to play, I think, one game a day of cribbage, or so at the end of the year they have 365 or something. So always with the cribbage there.
Yep.
We got Nerds of the West taking the late slot. Always crushing the late slot. Nerds of the West. Love them to death. They're playing Land. Was it
Land versus Sea?
Land versus Sea, which is a game I don't know anything about. That
Me
game.
neither.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle game for 2 to 4 players per the cover.
If you are up, watch.
Watch at 2 a.m.
There's the Nerds of the West are an absolute blast. Like, so they're very awesome. They usually take the night shift and stuff like that because they're in Australia, so it's not the night shift for them, but they're so much fun. They really are.
Like Tom and his group, they just I love the camaraderie they have with each other. You could tell, like, even if they weren't streaming, they'd be like this, hanging out, playing games with each other. Yeah. It's so cool.
Exactly.
I just noticed that we have Book of Nerds and then Nerds of the West. We have a lot of nerds.
That's right. We do have a lot
of Nerds of the West,
and we got a geek coming up after that.
Perfect. Yes. And then, hey, speaking of the late night shift, we've got Game Freak girl Monique at 4 a.m. Pacific. Appreciate
Momo
Monique
bringing it.
What is Momo playing?
She's playing.
I was playing some Verdant, which I am jealous.
Yes,
I really want to play that. I haven't backed it yet, but it's an inevitability. I imagine.
Yeah, really.
Also doing quite well on Kickstarter right now. It's the kind of the follow up to Cascadia and Calico. It's that same team, and from what I've heard from some people, they're saying like it's like the best so far.
That's hard. That's hard to believe, really.
Yes. I have a prototype of it. I will be live streaming it soon. I may be in that boat of it being the best of the three.
I'm intrigued.
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
Yes.
All right.
Like we're still loving Cascadia, right? Well, I still love Calico. We're loving Cascadia now, but Verdant.
Yeah, we need to get Cascadia.
Goodness.
Yeah, we played Cascadia, Buddy's copy, and
it's so good.
It's excellent, right?
They're all great. They're all fantastic. I just played Calico again as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Is this like a trend, I guess, the whole like tile lane game? I mean, there's been a lot of great tile lane.
We've been talking about this a lot. I don't know. I think tile lane games lend to this, but there is a big trend right now, particularly with flat out games. Flat out games has been crushing this, but there's a lot of games like this where it's like, there's a trend right now where there's a lot of games that come out that have really, really simple rules, but are really crunchy spatial puzzles. Because like Calico, it's like you literally grab a tile, put it here, you're trying to make these patterns. That's the whole game. But the game destroys your mind. Same with Cascadia. It's you put a tile and you put a thing down, you're trying to score these things, but it destroys your mind. So we were playing Godzilla Dinosaurs, same thing. It's very, very simple tile laying, but it's got this crazy spatial puzzle. There's like this trend of like games that are like ultimately really, really simple in terms of rules, but are actually really hard. And Keystone North America, same, very simple in terms of what you're doing, but really hard spatial puzzle. And I am here for this weight of games. I am all in on this kind of weight of game.
It's hard to like get more bang for your buck in terms of like minimal rules overhead, maximum strategy and stuff. And those tiling games seem to lend themselves really well to that.
Yeah, I think tiling is an because you put it here, you put it next to something else. Tiling just lends. It's hard to get like a card game because cards just end up being more complicated. But I am so here for this kind of weight of game, like because that's the kind of weight of game that gets played a lot. It's like you're not playing TI4 every day. It's like, but I could play Calico every day. It's like easily.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I love the fact this has become more of a thing because, one of my favorite designers is Reiner Knizia, and most of his games are like that. Very low rules overhead, but strategic depth, which is out of this world. And these type of games, Nick, like you're saying, they do lend themselves like, hey, you can learn this game, pretty quickly. But once you're playing, it's like, okay, brain burn. It's like, this is a lot deeper than I thought.
They're kind of infinitely playable as a result of that. And it's just, flat out's they're flat out great at making games.
Boom.
Someone clip that. There it is. They are flat out crushing.
Flat out sponsor TLN today.
Let's go. I mean, we are sort of there with.
We were kind of there, yes.
With our actual raid leader today being AEG, who usually brings flat out games out wide once they hit retail and stuff. So
that's right.
So excited.
We're so excited about this, friends. Let's get back to the rest of the schedule. We got a couple of other streamers, great streamers. So we just talked about Game Freak Girl.
Game Freak Geek Girl. And next up, we have Duchess, who's actually got a bunch of TLNers with her. They're going to be playing Scythe. So they're going to be playing with Tom from Nerds of the West. We got Rolling with Rock and Dutch Yoda. And Dutch Yoda, again, is one of the newest members of TLN.
Welcome, Dutch.
And so they're going to be playing Scythe. Dutch. It's going to be super cool because it's Scythe, And so playing some Scythe Digital. That's going to be a banger of a stream,
That's a classic right there. After that, we are rolling straight into Panda Angel, who's got Casey from Brain in a Jar and Amari.
Yes.
Both TLN friends.
Brandon Jar's also one of the new TLNers.
Yeah, we got peeps. We got peeps, y'all. They're gonna be playing Critical Care, which is currently on Kickstarter. It's Amari's newest game that they've made, and it's all about working in a hospital and stuff. And I'm really excited to see it played because I just love the concept of the game.
Yeah,
the whole kind of story behind it. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, we are so excited. Michelle and I watched Omari last year on stream. He used to live stream, some of his game design
jams. Yeah.
So Michelle and I, we just happened to tune in where he was doing some cards for it. Like, oh my gosh, we love the theme. Michelle's a big, like, any kind of medical theme she's all about. And so the second they launched it, I backed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out there. I'm super excited for Amanda, Omari, and Casey as well. Yeah,
that's gonna be a super fun one. And again, the story behind that's really cool. So I'm excited to watch it and then support it as well. There's a lot to back these days on Kickstarter. It's an expensive time of year.
It's been expensive.
It really is.
Got Beth's cards, which are like a nice easy one.
Yes.
I bet you get Beth's cards because they are amazing. And then and there's Verdant and stuff, and My Little Flower Shop, and then Critical Care, and I'm just like, so much stuff out there.
So good, so much great stuff, folks. Yes, good problem to have.
Yes.
And then after Amanda, we raid to our final streamer of the event, TLN 11 here, Loozapalooza.
Yeah.
They are playing that new Praise Be, Llama Land by Phil Walker Harding.
Praise Be.
I'm
always
very jealous.
I'm always in on Phil Walker. Any Phil Walker Harding game, I'm there. I love it.
I love Phil Walker Harding so much. And,
I have no idea about Llama Land. When did this come out? What the...
I think it's about to. I don't know if it's out here yet in the States.
Yeah, because it's from Lookout Spiel.
Games, so they got that German Connect to Lookout Spiel. So,
Praise Be.
But it's this. It seems very kind of, without knowing. I don't know any like the actual play, but gingerbread housey where you're stacking tiles, and then you have these little llamas. They're adorable, and they're kind of going up onto. So I think you're trying to stack stuff in such a way to leave certain symbols showing. This is just based off of one picture. I've now guessed the game. And you're putting llamas up and stuff. So Phil Walker Harding does a great job with like tile laying, stacking, making kind of fun, again, spatially puzzle type things. Did Barren Park, stuff like that, that are really accessible. I mean, it's a family weight game for sure. That's what that dude does.
Of course, it's Phil Harding, right? Yeah.
But like the production of it looks nice. Like I'm really excited for whenever it becomes available. I'm just like snatching it up immediately.
Thank you, Phil.
Love Phil Walker Harding so much.
Praise be. Yeah, I know y'all are big fans. And so after that, after the hour or the Loozapalooza show, we go to the after party, which is always
which will
a
be
good
with
time.
Us. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all got anything planned yet, or is it TBD?
It's TBD still. We're just trying to figure out exactly what we want to do, but it'll be something fun with a bunch of different people. Maybe like a just one kind of thing. We've done that before.
Yeah. Just want to play stuff with chat and stuff. Be really
it's always just really chill, having a good time. But it's been
so we'll go for like an hour after the show, kind of talk about the show that happened. I was thinking it'd be fun to like play cartographers or something with the chat that we can all kind of do together. So it'll be something like that with me and Nick hanging out. So that'll be super fun. And that's the show.
That's gonna be great. And I want to thank everyone again for joining us today. We've got about 25 minutes until the launch of TLN 11. I want to thank everyone for the gifts, for the subs, the gifts, the bits. Appreciate y'all. So now we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna do a little Q&A. How about that? Wow, how's a little Q&A sound, guys?
Take some Q&A. If anyone has any Q's.
A Q for Ruel. What was the game you were most into at Gen Con, since you were all you were there?
That was a great question. That is a great question.
Some cues in the chat.
What caught your eye in particular?
What caught my eye was there's two of them. The Night Cage from Smirk and Laughter, Smirk and Dagger. That one I'm really excited to get that on the table. It's another tile laying game, but this one's different. You're trying to escape a labyrinth, but the way the mechanism works is it's a cooperative game. You're trying to get out, but as you move along the tiles, there's a candle mechanism, so you can only see a certain spot of the labyrinth. So other tiles will be flipped back over, so you won't be able to see them. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I got to meet with Kurt there at the show. Is really great. The one that I played I played two that really impressed me. There were the Loop and
I want to play the Loop.
Luna Capital. Both of those games were outstanding.
What's Luna Capital? I don't know what that is.
Luna Capital is another tile laying game, but it's a little different in the fact that you're collecting sets and you do have a spatial element, but it's a dual layer thing. You flip over these construction cards, and then on top of those construction cards, you're going to put your little tiles for the point scoring. But the construction tiles themselves have numbers on them, so it's a little bit like Welcome to, where you need to get them in ascending order. Oh. You can skip some numbers and stuff. That's fine, and you're going to create up to 3 rows. And it's Nick, you were talking about how these tile lane games these days are really, they're easy to learn, but they got a ton of strategy. Mm-hmm. Luna Capital is within. It's really
okay.
It's looking it up. I am now shopping officially.
That one I streamed actually with our friend Shay Parker and Bonzinator. I streamed that for Gen Con TV.
Oh, sweet.
And I also streamed the Loop with Paula Deming and Braden Ajar Casey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, those were 2 really great experiences with awesome people, but the games themselves were just absolutely fantastic.
That's rad.
Those are 2, that I really
love. That's rad.
Really enjoyed. Mini Painter asks, was there a disappointment in expecting game at Gen Con? I don't know. I you know what? I didn't play as many games as I thought. Well, actually, I knew I wasn't going to play a lot of games because it's Gen Con. It's very
it's hard.
It's hard to. It's a lot of.
You never play games, I know.
Stuff like that. It's more on the industry side. So, the games I played. I played Pictomania for the first time. That was
it's great.
Yes,
it's awesome. One of the best games ever. Yeah.
Did you play that with Shay?
With Shay, Amir, and a couple other.
Makes sense.
It was
makes sense.
It's such a fun game. Such a fun game.
Love Pictomania.
Got a question here. A question for all 3 of you. Do you have to pay Twitch for extra bandwidth to stream all of your amazing faces at once? No, we don't.
No. We don't have to pay Twitch anything ever.
Yeah, we don't pay they we jump on StreamYard and just do the thing here.
Well, because streaming the work of streaming is done on your computer in a third-party software, not through Twitch. Twitch is just where you're basically uploading your stream.
Yep.
Like we're on StreamYard right now, and then Mike and I use OBS, but that's what does all of the work. So really what it comes down to is like, if your computer or your software can handle it, then Twitch can handle it, because at that point you're just uploading it to Twitch. That doesn't really matter. So there are some things where like we'll have big files or something like that, and it's difficult, and it's because the computer is struggling, not because Twitch is struggling. So the thing is, once you get that Twitch solid, you can basically stream whatever you want to Twitch, because you're just streaming 720 or 1080 or whatever. That's all Twitch can really care about. On our end, we can do whatever we want, which is very nice, I will say.
Twitch does spaz out at times, so let's make it clear.
They do.
Twitch does spaz out, but it's nothing that we can pay to control, unfortunately. It's just either it's working or it's not.
Right.
Usually
here's a question from Kestrel. Nick and Mike, what do you think of Summer Camp by Praise Be PWH?
Let's see. Question, was it designed by Phil Walker Harding?
Yes.
Praise Be. It's great. This. It's a fantastic game.
It really is great.
It is.
It's a great intro Phil Walker Harding game. So it's a perfect, and even in the rule book, one thing I really appreciate is they explain, because it's a deck building game, which if you've never played a deck building game, it's hard to conceptualize. Like the first time someone was explaining deck building to me, I was like, what? And I run out of cards, but then and then once you get going, you run out of cards, you shuffle and you build. Now you have a better deck. And so they take some time in the rulebook to explain the concept of deck building to you. This is what's generally going to happen. Yep. And then I love it because I love the theme so much. I love the idea of summer camp because I'm all in on the nature, outdoors camping themes, because I think it's so wholesome and sweet. I don't mind games where you battle and stuff, but it's a nice antidote to that. It's just a nice change.
Yeah.
And so you have these different merit badges, and each little deck of cards provides making the game complex, it adds a little bit of a flavor. So this deck is generally going to do this thing, or this deck's going to help you draw more cards. And so since you choose 3 of those, you get these infinite amount of mixes you can get. So I love it. I love it for exactly what it is. There are deeper, bigger deck building games, but that game's going to help create board gamers. And that's what Phil Walker Harding does, is help make stuff so that people want to play another game. So love it. And I love the theme.
Praise
and
be.
The art's great. Praise be.
Agreed. Praise be. Yeah, I got to play it once and it was fantastic. I think everything you talk about is on point. Yeah, it's such a good game, and it will create more gamers, which I love.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it comes down to.
And if you know deck building games, you get halfway through the rule book, you're like, I know what's going to go on here. Let's go.
This game. Yeah.
Yep.
Get cards, buy new cards, get those cards, use those cards, buy more cards, get those cards.
Yep.
Boom. Done.
Easy, dude. It's great. It's really fun.
That's right. Let's see. Gator Dave points out watch out for which side of the board you use with Luna Capital. Gator Dave is referring to the fact that when we live stream it, we mistakenly put it on the solo side, so it was 3 of us playing. Oops. The joys of live streaming, folks. Yeah,
that's how it goes.
We are
you going to be going to PAX?
We are going to PAX. Well, we will say this as always. Yeah. COVID willing,
yes.
We will. The plan is to be at PAX. We have flights, we have hotels, we have intentions to be there,
ready to go.
Nice. But we always like to put that out because we also had intentions to be at Gen Cons, and then
we're supposed to be in Chicago right now.
We'd be in Chicago right now.
So
Chicago today.
Yeah, we're going on a road trip
between.
Oh, that's right. Origins after the. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that didn't happen.
Well, let's all take care of our mask wearing and vaccine getting. I know. Speaking to the choir here in chat and stuff, but if we all take care of that and stuff, that's what's going to make us able to go to PAX. So the plan is to be there.
Yeah.
Until you hear.
And when I got back from Gen Con, the second I landed for my flight, I took a rapid test. Tested negative.
Yeah.
I just took another one yesterday. I'm gonna get the results hopefully today, just to be sure.
Just gotta be sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. I've heard a lot of people have gotten tested and stuff, and everyone's come back negative. So I'm really happy with.
Yeah.
Seems like Gen Con was really about their stuff and making sure people were wearing their masks and things, and that's got me hopeful. If we come out of this and 2 weeks later, we don't see some huge spike from that, I'm like, okay, well, that makes me hopeful for the future. So so far it seems like so good, which is great.
Absolutely. Really great. Yeah. I'm so grateful for, the Gen Con, the staff that I know, they really brought their A game, and hopefully we don't see that, big super spreader event. Because I feel like everyone, I was talking to someone from the staff at the after party. They mentioned, you know what, gamers love to follow rules. And the rule was wear your mask, and everyone wore their mask, even outside when you didn't have to. Yeah, everyone had. A lot of people still had their mask, except when they're eating or drinking. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. We got a good question based off tiling, which we've talked a lot about today. This is an important one: hex tiles or squares?
Oh,
both are great.
Hex has more options. More options.
Hexes has more options.
More options of adjacency. It gets more interesting, and they just look cooler.
I'll throw in a third stitch. Hexes, squares, or dominoes?
No, not dominoes.
Because in Honey Buzz, what we're gonna play, there's hexominoes or hexes.
Oh, that's different though. Hexominoes are different than dominoes. You just said dominoes.
Wait, what's a hexomino? What the heck?
It's like two
hexes fused together. So in Honey Buzz, there's actually they're too wide, but they're hex shaped.
Well, like God Loves Dinosaurs has the same thing.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Hexominoes are pretty cool. I do like hexominoes.
Okay. Those do sound cool. Let's see. Ruckus says, if the conditions will allow it, would you be up for an 18-player Mega Civ stream? That sounds way intense. I'll let you know right now.
I would if everyone else wanted to do it. I would.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking for.
Do I want to do that? No, that sounds like the worst thing I can imagine. But if everyone else wanted to do it, I would do it.
I don't know enough about what that would be to say definitively no. And maybe that's what you're looking for is versus like, yeah, that sounds fun. You're like, cool, we got this person for the next 36 hours,
Right.
Yeah. Those kinds of games have absolutely no appeal to me at all. Like mega games, I just like playing board games. I just want to sit down for an hour or two and play a board. I have no interest in those kinds of games, those kinds of experiences. It's just personally, I have people are like, well, this mega game they have those big 30-person mega games, and I have no interest in them. If I had that, I would have joined the UN team at school, and I didn't. Because that's all that is. Let's be honest. That is just adult UN team. That's all it is.
I love it.
Hey, there's a lot of overlap between Model UN.
No, 100%. Model UN, it makes total sense, but that's all that is. I've never had interest in that, so yeah.
Oh, Rick says, Ingenious and Witchstone have. That's right. Ingenious from the good Dr. Reiner Knizia. Yeah. One of my favorites that does have.
It's a cool idea.
Hex. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Gator Dave says, do you have an official TLN mascot yet?
We should. We don't. What would it be? That's the thing.
I would like to nominate Bruno the Pug.
I think that's the problem. Is we don't have is TLN is kind of like the umbrella company over. But TLN itself doesn't stream. There's not like a TLN Twitch channel. So it's it's tough because it's made up of. Sass Queen really is the mascot.
Where there's a lot of famous brands.
Sass Queen is honestly the mascot.
Yeah. Let's just go with Sass Queen.
Anyone who has just like the stones to be like, it's me. Like you just won it, obviously.
Yeah,
who are we to deny?
It's probably Sasquatch. That's the answer, really.
Congrats, Sasquatch. You are now the TLN mascot.
We
have a lot of there's a lot of fur babies within the different TLN channels. So, but Sasquatch makes
Sasquatch and all of our collective animals.
There it is. Yeah, we have plenty of mascots.
Yeah, because our logo is just like a table, so we can't have like it be a table. That's a boring ass mascot.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah.
It'd be a fun like mascot have walking around instead of a table strapped to them with game pieces, and they have to walk around. People can like play on them real fast, and it's like, this is very heavy.
Yeah. What about folks in chat? Who would you like to see be the TLN mascot? I'm curious. What would y'all think? I mean, I like the fact that Sasquatch stepped up there. That's a really good thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We also someone's talking about a TLN micro badge on BGG.
I don't
know anything about that stuff.
I just don't know how to make those or do those.
I imagine it's similar to emotes in terms of like the constructing them, where they have to be.
I'm sure we can. I don't know how you like submit like a mic. I don't know how that.
We will look into that.
Works.
The three of us, if there's one fatal flaw between us, is that we're all old ass men. In our brains when it comes to certain technological stuff. We're hip and with it elsewhere. Like micro badge, I'm just like, I don't know, man.
Is that something on Click Clock? I don't know what the micro badge is.
With your micro badges,
You and your micro badges.
I just want to play games.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know how, but we could, honestly. We are planning. I mean, this first year of TLN was so just like, let's just do it and just kind of do it. And like this whole year was basically just figuring out what TLN is and how it works. And now it just kind of runs, it's like there's not much we have to do on our end to like, do all this. Because the first, I would say 7 or 8, a lot of it was just like figuring stuff out and like changing stuff and like, this didn't work as well as we wanted to, and da-da-da. Now it kind of runs just like a well-oiled machine. So now there's more of like that kind of stuff that we want to do and like marketing it more and doing things like that. Like, but we really had to, it's one of the things, so much stuff, especially in content creation, just takes a while. Like a lot of times you just need like a year of something for it to like really get going. And then you can focus on making it bigger and changing this and doing that. And something like a small, tiny thing like a micro badge is one of those things that kind of just falls by the wayside until we're just like, okay, now we have the bandwidth to start working on weird little things like this. You know what I mean? Like last year it was like, we just need to get this thing going, get a website going and just figure it out. That's what we need to do. And so, and to be fair, we have done that. So
I mean, I love the fact we're all really similar in the fact like we have all these great ideas. Let's do all this stuff, and then realize that we don't have that much time. Like
we never do. Time flies, but we're eventually we'll get to all of our great ideas. And that's why I see what we did for October. We said that in like February. We're like, we got to do like a Halloween thing, and now we're like, we're able to kind of execute because we took time to sort of work it round.
That's right.
It's a busy time, busy life.
It is. Yeah, we're winding down here. We got about 10 minutes left.
I know, about 10 minutes left. This game gets dicey. Awesome.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Do want to shout out our raid leader for the event, AEG. Our friends at AEG. Want to thank them for sponsoring as a raid leader. You can find out more about their great games right there, and just drop the link in chat. I got to see these games, and I got to play 2 of them in person. I loved Whirling Witchcraft.
I
was so surprised by that game.
I didn't
think it would be for me. It's so much fun. And if any of y'all haven't played it yet, it is basically that episode of Lucy, I Love Lucy, where the candies are going on the little conveyor belt, and you're trying to put them on there. And you're trying. Then that's how they described it to me. Like you're trying to get all yours and basically hose your opponents by giving them.
You're trying to overwhelm your opponent.
Overwhelm your
which is funny because it sounds. I was worried when we first learned about the game because it sounds really combative, right? Like you're trying to like overwhelm your opponent and do all this stuff. And like Mike and I are not like combative players. I don't like I don't mind interaction game, but I don't like super mean games. I don't like fighting games for the most part. And so I was worried. I was like, oh man, is this going to feel like feel mean. And it's not at all. It's just fun. You're constantly just throwing crap at your opponent, trying to get them to like, trying to get them to overload and stuff like that. And it's really fun.
Oh,
like,
we got some gifted subs coming in.
Oh my gosh, gifted subs, folks. You know, okay, we got to give a little love to AB Troop. Thank you, AB Troop, so much for that's an alert. We've got 5 new gift subs. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. And y'all know what happens whenever there's a gift on this channel. We say gift. Thank you, AB Troop. Much appreciated. Thank you for the support.
That's what's
so
up.
much.
So
Whirling
Witch is a banger.
It never feels mean, right? I mean,
it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't feel mean, which I loved about it. So
especially because it's equal standing. It's like it's such an interesting thing. So it's an engine building game, really, because you're getting these cards, these little recipe cards that are going to move your resources around. You're trying to take as many off of your board as you can. Like Ruel said, try to keep up with eating the chocolate, get it off your board.
Yep.
And it's like you're trying to overwhelm your opponent, but then there's someone to your right who's doing the exact same thing to you. So it's like it's all equal. And I love the idea of building up an engine to produce ultimately enough resources to overwhelm your opponent's engine. I've never seen that specific kind of game before. It works really well at 2-player because you're playing just heads up. If you play multiplayer, one thing that's really interesting is you're passing your cauldron to the right. So the player to your right is who you're trying to overwhelm. And then you're passing your cards. There's some card drafting. You're passing your cards to the player on your left. And so one thing you have to pay attention to is like, don't give your opponent a card that is going to be very good for the engine they're building because they are trying to overwhelm you. So you have to like kind of pay attention to your left because that person's trying to mess with you, but you really want to focus on the player to your right because you're trying to overwhelm them. And it's just fun. And you're just kind of simultaneously like making your little potions, getting little spiders and mushrooms and things.
Yeah. And so it's quick. It's only like about 5 or 6 turns, right?
No, it's
like
fast.
It's not long.
It's really fast.
I mean, if you do it well, it's really fantastic.
And
so
it's
we played that.
Art by Weberson Santiago, and I love Weberson Santiago's art.
Same person did Bloody End, which is fantastic.
It's so weird. It's just he's got such a weird style, but I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
And the other 2 games that AEG is promoting right now, 10 and also Cascadia. I got to play 10 for the first time with actually our friends at the Tantrum House. Got to play with
nice. Good folks.
10's really good.
It's another solid game. I remember. Do you remember the game Push by Ravensburger? It was just a really simple push card game. It's like Push, but a little more with a few more gamer touches. And it was 10's
really fun.
I love 10 because it really only goes one step above. It's really familiar to a lot of like there's other games like that have existed that are very mass market, and it's like it's just like you said, adds just a couple of touches of like gameriness where there's a little bit of like currency that you can buy stuff with, but ultimately it's just a push your luck game. And that was the auction is like enough that it keeps you engaged, and then you can play that game with anybody because I think it'll be perfect for non-gamers because you will show something they're like, this looks kind of familiar, and you're like, you're just trying to make 1 through 9 on your cards if you can. People are like, I got that makes sense. But it's fun, colorful, simple. I was like, dude, this is very fun to play.
10's a banger.
The push your luck is all you need. It's great.
AEG had a really cool. So they had their normal booth at Gen Con, but they also had a suite that they rented, and they did presentations there. So they had a lot of content creators come there. They did this really cool presentation of their upcoming games, and just gave us run throughs of some of the stuff they're coming out with. And again, they are our raid leader. We really appreciate the sponsorship. But I've been saying this, and we've been saying this for years now. The last few years, AEG is knocking it out,
crushing it.
They are
strong. The AEG side of stuff, they've been doing so good, mostly because they just got John DeClaire on lockdown, and John DeClaire is the best designers in the game. And then they bring over almost they are the kind of the distributor and stuff for Flat Out, and Flat Out has been crushing it. So like those two together, AEG has just been absolutely destroying the last couple of years.
It's a powerful combo for sure.
It really is.
They're just so dang good.
Yeah. There's got to be. So I know we sing the praise be to Phil Walker Harding, but there's got to be something for John DeClaire too.
Johnny D. I don't know.
He's right up there for me.
John DeClaire. One of my favorite designers at this point.
Yeah, he's one of those people, there's a handful of designers. I think for all of us out there, whatever they might be, but John DeClaire is one that's like, oh, he's coming out with a new game. I'm like, I want to know about that right now.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I'm gonna probably like that game a lot.
We got to preview his new one for next year, Rolling Heights, which Oh my goodness!
We're trying to play that with him. Yeah, we're actually trying to get him to come out for a stream to play it because I really want to try it.
It looks fantastic. I mean, you're literally rolling meeples, and the way the meeples end up is the ability that you can do. And then you're
that's cool.
And you're building a 3D city. Oh my! I was like so hyped. And
that's going to Kickstarter. I think next month.
Yeah,
Kubitos is one of my favorites.
Kubitos is one of my favorite games this year. Yeah, I mean, solid. I think it's outstanding.
Super solid.
Yeah, Johnny Claire, fantastic. AEG, and Flat Out, they're just crushing it. Absolutely,
they're crushing it. And the cool thing about,
go ahead, Mikey. No, go ahead. You go. I think we're about to say the exact same thing, so you go ahead.
Okay, on three was no. One thing that's really cool with AEG is you can go to their website and you can play a lot of their games in the browser, including Cascadia, totally free.
Yes,
available. You can just play. It works really well. So one thing to do is just check out, like if you want to know a little bit about a game and see what's going on. It's free just to check
you can just play them on the website.
I think it's a great move. You know, it's like, hey, if you want to know how Cascadia works, just come right down here and then decide if you want it. No pressure at all. So if you go to aldrock.com/Cascadia, for example, you can check out Cascadia, but there's a bunch more as well. So that's one thing they're trying to get the word out on because I think it's a really cool feature.
Yeah, it really is. It's really, really cool. Yeah, AG's crushing it, and we are very happy they're our raid leader again. And they're just wonderful. Yeah,
we're lucky duckies to have them. Shouts out.
Shouts out. And we've got about 2 minutes left before you raid Paul and Matthew.
They need a couple extra minutes, they just said. So no problem.
Or 5 minutes then.
No worries. Awesome.
Our raid's going up.
Hey, Fire Ant Farm is my new favorite comment here. Open a refreshing Topo Chico tangerine. Muy delicioso. I've not had the tangerine one yet.
I was going to ask. I have only ever seen like lime, kind of like a classic.
That's all you need is the lime. Yeah,
maybe tangerine. That sounds pretty. I'm not against it.
I'll try it.
Tangerine sounds much better than lime.
Ruel's a classic. You know, is a classic kind of guy. Just a twist of lime for him will do just fine. And when you're going to be the mascot for Topo Chico. Someone threw out that should be our mascot. If we get a giant walking Topo Chico, we might get sued by Topo Chico, but it does get us on their radar, which helps you get your sponsorship.
There it is. It all works out in the end.
That is true.
Well,
you got to do evocative marketing. That's all, So everybody wins. We win. They win. Fire Ant Farm says, I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Ooh, I love San Antonio.
Good, so maybe I like grapefruit, but can't find it anymore.
Go Spurs.
I did not know there was more. I'm with you. I didn't know there was more than one flavor.
Yes, although there's I know that I've heard of the lime that they just have the plain water, and then they have that line of like the ones that have actual alcohol in them. But I haven't heard of tangerine. Yeah, I've not heard of tangerine.
Interesting. Yeah. Ruckus says there's a fun fact. There's a company in Germany called AEG as well. They're producing all sorts of electrical equipment. So basically the same thing.
Okay.
As electrical is good, and that's what AEG stands for. That's pretty good. True. Sliver's up here, but I think Sliver's is
Sliver's in the house. Hello. All right.
Sliver's or Spracknell in the house. Hello.
Yeah, I know which one it is. Who is it? But yeah, we got a great TLN coming up, fam. 24 hours. Someone earlier said that we should do a whole week of TLN, and I agree. I've been trying to push for a whole week. I wanted to do it for our 1 year anniversary. That's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I want to do an entire week of streaming each for a whole bam. And everyone will shifts.
Nick is so excited it's breaking his internet.
Yeah,
Nick is saying
that's how hyped
he wants to do a whole week. He's too hyped. You're too hyped for the internet, man. You're too hyped.
Sorry, I want to do a whole week.
You want to do a whole week. We want to do it where most likely people will stream a few different times throughout the week, but kind of similar where it's just a nonstop barrage. That is going to happen at some point.
How nuts would that be?
It's a matter of when, not if. We have to figure out the logistics of it, but I think it would be so fun.
Yeah, it'll be a weird schedule.
Cool thing about TLN in general is it's not heavy lifting for any one person because we should.
Really not.
What do y'all think? Like maybe I know we're just spitballing here in public, but what about like bringing in the next week? Let's just start right now. I was thinking the end of 2021 into 2022, maybe. I
like that. I was thinking somewhere around that. Christmas, New Year's, where a lot of people are home, whether that's home or at home where they grew up or wherever. I think it'd be super cool. I think one thing that we must absolutely do, like we did last year, is we must ring in the new year with TLN, and we could just extend on either side of the new year a little bit. I mean, we could go.
That was very fun last time.
That was a lot of fun. I loved doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know,
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, Michelle, Lauren, and I, we ended it, but I felt like it should just go on. Like we brought in the new year, but I felt like
that was the second one, right? That one was
the second one.
That was the one that was like 18 hours because it was December.
Oh,
that was December's. Right. So this year, New Year's Eve is on Friday. So maybe we'll have to push TLN forward a day. That way we can do the same thing where we kind of go through the new year.
I was looking at we're trying to figure out, just so everyone is aware, we're trying to figure out kind of how to navigate the holidays, because obviously there's a lot of travel, figuring all those things out. And I had noticed I was on Friday, but I think we go a day early, and maybe we just extend it. Maybe we start off with a whole weekend or something where we can ring in the new year, TLN style, the TLN official countdown, especially because if you go from, I want to go from like, this is me not understanding time zones, the earliest, like whoever does their New Year's first, we start around there. So that every hour we can ring in somebody's New Year throughout the entire thing and celebrate this country and this region or whatever. Just have a whole big thing.
Yeah.
Is Australia first? Because if so, then we got Nerds of the West. Like
Australia first.
They start first
tomorrow. Yeah,
they should kick it off then.
I think that'd be so neat. And I remember
I think CD would be first.
Oh yeah,
because she's in New Zealand, right? And then it'd be Nerds of the West, and then I guess
we could work it out though, right?
Is who it would be? Yeah, it'd be a kind of a whole thing. Yeah,
awesome, cool. Yeah. I think that's we'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
It's all up here, y'all. We got a meeting on Monday.
It's coming.
Figure it out.
It's coming.
Yep.
All righty. They're ready.
Paula's ready. Okay, so let's talk for another hour, and we'll raid into them. No, we're gonna raid right now, folks. Hang tight.
Tuck says we skip Asia. Here's the thing, real talk. We'll put a call out to the audience too. If you know any streamers in other regions of the world,
please
that can stream for TLN. They would have to be able to stream in English and stuff like that. We want to know. We want streamers in every region. We want streamers in South America. We want more streamers from Europe. We want streamers from the Middle East, from Asia, from Africa, from more in Oceania. We want streamers from everywhere. So if you know of anybody, please whisper someone from TLN.
This to be a truly worldwide.
We really want it to be. Would
even more than
kill for that. So please let us know if you know of somebody.
Absolutely. It's time to raid Gator Dave with the final question of the day. Who's going to win the NL West?
Obviously, easily.
Oh my gosh. We all know who's
we beat the Dodgers all year. So I mean, we had a winning record against y'all.
You've won it 7 years in a row. Or are you going for 8 or 9 in a row? The point is you've won way too many times. Time to rest, Dodgers.
The Dodgers are going to come back and win the division. They're going to win every single. You know what? I'm
so scared that's true.
How many rings y'all got?
They're gonna win every single game from here on out until the end of the season.
You have a way better schedule than we do. To be fair, like your schedule is way nicer than ours. Although you're ending on the Brewers. I hope the Brewers smash y'all.
I'm so thankful that you end on the Brewers. That's our only chance that we have. Yep. All right, y'all, enjoy.
Yes, we are supposed to be raiding.
We're raiding right now.
Let's talk about baseball.
Friends, have a great TLN out there. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to raid Paula right now. But, thanks to our raid leader, AEG, folks. Thank you so much. Have a great TLN. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Stay hydrated, eat well, take some time off for yourself, play some great games, and let us know on the socials what you're playing. All right, we'll see you in a few. We'll see you later. Bye.